Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there. Welcome to New Life Live. Glad you're with us here today. And joining me, Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Steve.
Doing
Hey,
well.
Alice.
How are you, Steve?
Doing all right. Now, I want to talk to you about the most prevalent under the thing, surface emotion people have, and it's not pleasant to have it. It's anger. And, people will admit, okay, I feel guilty, shame, whatever. And then they think, well, maybe, I have a little irritation here or there. But they're full of rage. And then it comes out and people get hurt. So what is really this thing that could help anger the most? Is it managing anger? People go to anger management classes. Are we supposed to manage anger, or how do you think is the best to get rid of the source of the anger? What do you think?
I think it takes an understanding and an acceptance that it is a God-given emotion and there's meaning to it and there should be purpose to it. Anger energizes us to protect, to confront, to bring up difficult truth, and to draw lines in the sand. And anger gets a bad rap as if it's always a bad thing, but it isn't, especially when we use it appropriately without sinning in our anger, which is very difficult to do. But choosing to express our anger, to put it into words, to be aware of it, and to admit what we're feeling, and then to look for what is the purpose? What is God nudging me to do? Or what's the problem within me, my environment, or my relationships that needs to be addressed? And the energy for anger should be used for that purpose. But when we don't take those steps with our anger, it either tends to leak out in ways that are out of our control, or it explodes out eventually after having accumulated over time when we don't make use of it and talk about what we're feeling on the inside.
Okay. Marc, what do you think?
Yeah, and I love what you're saying there, Alice. And anger is often a secondary emotion for us, meaning that we're feeling something first before we're feeling the anger, right? And typically there's a hurt, there's a sad, or there's a fear underneath. And if we can get to identifying and understanding what that primary emotion is and learn how to express that, oftentimes our anger can reduce, and others know then what we need without, feeling like they need to stay away from us because we're out of control.
Okay, so somebody's listening. Last night, for the first time, let's say, they became so angry, they shoved the person they love. Let's say husband shoves his wife against the wall, couldn't believe that he did it. So what is the best thing that man could do so that never, ever happens again?
Well, it takes a lot of humility to be able to admit my anger got out of my control to the point that I put hands on to my spouse. And so recognizing that that's a level of anger that needs a professional intervention, most likely, even if it's a few sessions with a therapist to start, or with one of our counselors or coaches to start. But in order to show the wife that the husband is taking it that seriously, that he's going to get outside help in order to protect her, to protect him, and to figure out what were those layers that led to that point of explosive anger. It came from a reason underneath, but it's not acceptable, not justifiable.
Yeah, anger, like you said, Alice, is about protection, right? If I go home, someone's tied up my wife and kids, I need to get angry to get into hero mode, right? But it's when we use anger to hurt others, it's not adaptive, right? Anger's meant to protect, and when we're hurting others, pushing, shoving, right, we're not using it in the way that it's designed.
Yeah. All right. 1-800-229-3000. That is the phone number here. And we'll talk to you about that and other things when we come back from this break. I hope you're having a great day. A gift of any amount, I'm going to send you Henry Cloud's book, Trust. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live. Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, December 2nd. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie Mack Harris will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hi, this is Val Carolyn with Faith Talk Atlanta, which is a proud broadcast partner of New Life Live. I want to congratulate Steve Arterburn and his terrific team for celebrating 35 years of ministry. New Life Live is such an important voice in our community, as every day this program lifts up and helps so many individuals, our neighbors, our co-workers, our fellow church members, and so many who are in need of support in these times when the path can appear to be so unclear. Thank you for your partnership and for your commitment to serve in God's name. And again, congratulations on an important and impactful 35 years.
Well, thank you. What a great station that is. And, we're sure fortunate that people have come alongside us and partnered with us and supported us so we could be here 35 years later. And we never, ever take it for granted. So thank you to everybody that's helped us be here, and thanks to all these radio stations that broadcast this program. You can not only hear us on radio, but we do have a YouTube channel, the New Life Live YouTube channel. We're on the NRB network, a couple other cable networks you can watch. So please do. And just know that we are thankful to get to be able to do this. One thing I want to mention before we leave the topic of anger is that it's so easy for someone to think that maybe it'll get better if I just give him more time or her more time. Maybe I need to just take this and hope for the best. When in reality, if you're living with an angry person and they become physical, you don't really know where that's going to go. You don't know how that might manifest itself next time. And you really need some help. You need to talk to somebody about what to do rather than shame, kind of keeps us silent. But this isn't something to keep to yourself when you have an angry person who's escalated to the point of now they're shoving and hitting and things like that. Don't just wish that it's going to get better. Do the things necessary for it to get better. So if somebody was shoved, not like hit, but shoved against a wall, do you call authorities? How do you help someone figure out what is the proper response to being physically hurt by another person at home?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, Steve. I think it depends on the level of damage that's done. I think if you've hurt someone to the point where they need to seek medical help, then I think others need to be alerted to that. If maybe you've thrown something and you've broken something and it's just seemed scary, I think it really comes down to what's the accountability that the person's showing. And you talked about shame keeps us silent, and I really do think that shame stops us from seeking help and denying and oh, I'm sorry, I'll just do better again. No, we need help when we get to that point. We need help with others around us, others knowing, right? We need maybe that sponsor or someone to reach out to. Both people, the person who's in anger and the person who feels unsafe, both need an outlet. Both need someone to help And so, and I think, for the person who is maybe the victim here and someone's not respecting words, when someone doesn't respect your words, they can still respect your boundaries. And so you need to take action too, to draw a line to say, this is as far as we're going to go here. And, if this continues, we need help.
Yeah.
I think when things have gotten physical, we should err on the side of over response rather than under response, so that we stop it in its tracks, because physical aggression doesn't tend to be a one-off situation. It tends to become a pattern. And then particularly if minor children are in the home or exposed to what happened, they saw what happened, I want an over response rather than an under response to it.
Yep. And so often, the anger is there, triggered by something that has happened to you, and it kind of takes you back to a day when you were very small and something maybe similar or had some other kind of impact, and you get out of control. Well, not everybody's out of control. Not everybody has some deep wound that causes them to be angry. What a horrible way to live, with this anger that is controlling you. There is help, and thinking that you're just going to figure it out by yourself, well, you've already proved that it won't happen. And so if the anger is the problem for you or somebody in your family, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, we will help you get through that. I was just thinking, Emotional Freedom Workbook is a great place to work through that. And then also we have an Emotional Freedom Workshop we do for people that are angry. Those will be coming up soon. Well, let's go to Eleanor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. WBYN is the station. Eleanor, welcome to New Life Live. You're on, and we're glad that you're here. Marc Cameron, Dr. Alice Benton, and you and me. How you doing?
Okay.
What's going on with you? What are you thinking about today? What's on your mind?
Anger is a good word to focus on, because I think my daughter has anger issues, and it seems that they are directed at me.
Okay. How old is she? How old is your daughter?
Well, that's the thing. I put up with this a long time. She's 65, and that makes me a lot older.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've put up with it for since she was 10. She had a little bit of counseling. I don't know whatever happened to the counselor. I never had any idea of what transacted during their counseling and how much it was. It so long ago I can't even remember. But the effect has come out over the years, and I seem to be the one who gets the anger. And sometimes it seems that it might be started something that's frustrating her. It could be a project she's working on, or but in most cases it seems that it's something that she thinks that I want, and she's going to do something that against that desire.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it could be something I've made, and she doesn't want it. And just lots of different kinds of things. Visiting, I thought that she was going to come and visit me a couple days ago, and she didn't confirm. She just said that she was going to plan to do that, but we didn't set up that time of the day. And I said, give me a call and let me know what works out best for you. Well, she never called. Well, I called her, and there was no answer.
So
well,
you think all...
Out.
Oh, sorry. You found out what?
No, I found out where she was. She'd gone out, but she didn't think about me. But she had her daughter and son-in-law and their baby, and they went out to a Halloween special event that was going on at some. Oh, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a commercial establishment for children.
And you felt left out.
With rides and things like that.
Yeah.
There were lots of fun to do. And I would have liked to go on that.
Sure.
I would have,
Yeah.
but she never asked me.
And you think that this is all because she's never resolved whatever it is that she's angry about with you. Is that right?
I think so. She said,
Yeah.
well, and she's basically given up God. I've tried to talk to her about
Okay.
God in different ways, and it's not happening. And
So-
she's given up church.
So,
And,
what is the question for us?
Should I say anything more to her, or just don't bother?
Great question.
Should I say something about this last event that I would have liked to have gone to? And she mentioned it, so she must have had me in mind. She didn't mention this event, but she was talking about coming up to my house.
Right. Okay.
And-
Let's
and
ask.
I thought-
Well, let's ask Mark to help you with this because, you at least want to. Well, she needs to live up to her word. I mean, she said she was coming. She didn't. She didn't tell you that she wasn't. Mark, what are you thinking here?
Yeah. So what boundaries have you put in place so far, Eleanor? What's been your conversation with your daughter around these things?
I don't think we've had any.
So I think that's where you want to start. I think you want to start with creating space to have an intentional conversation with her, and then expressing to her what it is that you're feeling inside. When she lets you down, or when she's angry with you, or when she doesn't respect your words and respect your boundaries, right? And then I think followed up with that expression of how you're feeling. Then we've been talking about laying a boundary. Then you may say, if this happens again, this is what my response is going to be. But
I did something like that. I did something like that during a dinner she was having at her house, and the house is very small, and my house is larger. And I said, this is a holiday, and I said, why can't you all come to my house for the holiday? Because it's larger, there's more space for everybody. Well, she didn't want to do that, so we ate at her house. And the problem is that it was so crowded that just getting up from the table was difficult.
Well,
And so anyway,
Eleanor, I'm just curious. Do you have a set of friends that you're close to? Are you involved in any group that wants to hear how people are doing in their week? Is there anything like that in your life?
no.
Okay. Because see, here we are, we're a radio program, and you're telling us these things and we want to hear them, but it sounded like to me you don't have other people to talk these things through with.
That's
And
true.
I
tried
just-
a little bit of that, and it hasn't worked.
Okay. So separate and apart from your daughter, and I don't know that your daughter's ever going to be different.
Yeah.
But what I'd like Mark and Alice to address is you and how to develop a life that's so meaningful and full, separate and apart from a daughter that's angry and disappoints you. Because that's got to be miserable.
I'm a widow now. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
I used to have a husband that I could speak and share with.
Sure. And how long ago did he die?
About 4 years.
4 years. Well, yeah. So it's time. You guys have any thoughts on what she could do to build and be in community?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I'd add to what I already said to you before, Eleanor, is that I would also create space for your daughter to be able to then give you feedback too, because we all end up having blind spots in our lives, and sometimes we don't know that until we do ask for feedback. So let it be a conversation that you have with her, that you not only express what's happening inside you, but you also give space to hear what's happening inside of her.
Yeah,
because
that has not happened.
And Eleanor, you said this stretches back till she was 10 years old. Do you have some guesses about what has happened between the two of you that has led to chronic anger on her side?
No, it's been rather consistent the way she's reacted to things.
So when we don't know and there's nothing obvious to point to, it can help if we parents are willing to get real humble about just some of our imperfections that all of us parents have. I drive my kids crazy, Eleanor, when I promise them something fun that we're going to do together and I don't follow through. It sticks with them. And my kids, they take it to heart. And they can even start to believe, Mom, I don't think you care about me because you said we were going to do this fun thing and we still haven't and weeks have passed. So that's one of my imperfections, Eleanor, that I hurt my kids over and over again when I do that. And if we parents are willing to go to our children to say, here are a couple of my imperfections I know about, and I want to hear how they have impacted you. And maybe I have another imperfection I'm not even aware of, and I'm going to give you permission. Okay. If you can tell me respectfully, if we can both stay calm about it, I want to be able to hear from you. Go ahead.
I want to tell you that the closest thing to that was something that I've thought about a lot, but I don't think she has, or maybe she has. We haven't talked about it. And that is she causing her sister to drown.
Oh,
all right, I want to talk about that after this. You hear the music, and there's a tragedy. That's I want to talk about.
That's the reason why I haven't talked about it.
All right. You're listening to New Life Live, and we'll come back and visit with Eleanor right after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Well, we're back. We're talking with Eleanor. Eleanor, before the break, you said that your daughter caused her sister to drown. What is that?
Well, they were swimming, and I had told them when I didn't want them to go to the beach actually, and her father had wanted me to stay at the house and fix up a couple things, and I said, well, I could only spend a very short time. I can't do that. I have to be with the girls. And he kept working, and I said, are you ready? Are you ready? No, not yet. No, by the time that he was ready, it was too late. Somebody had come to the door and said, hurry, come down to the beach because your daughter had drowned. Had drowned or something like that, he said. So I raced out of there, dropped everything, and went to the beach. Well, it was so happened that the reason why they weren't supposed to be in the water in the first place, I had told them when I took them down there to the beach, they stay on the beach. And they didn't do it. And so when the older one was in the water, she had them she had had the two of them doing Follow the Leader, and they were out near the line at the beach. It's a pond, and they were at a line where you don't go under or over past that line, and it's a rope. Well, they were out there, and her sister tripped her. I guess she tripped. She went down. When she came up, she was on the other side of the rope. They couldn't find her. And when her sister went over to the lifeguard and told them that she couldn't find her sister, they didn't. They said, "Did you check the store? Or did you check the snack shop? And did you go there?" And she said, "Yeah, but that she's not there." And so she went into the business and told them that her sister was missing. And somebody came out, and they finally found her under the water on the other side of the rope, and they gave her CPR right away, but it didn't work.
Oh.
And it was just the end. And I went with her down to the hospital, and her sister, her live sister, went to be with a neighbor, and they were with the neighbor the whole time. Her sister was at the hospital, and I was too. And then when we came back, everybody was hoping that she was revived, but she wasn't. And
What
the
a
strangest
tragedy.
thing, yeah, but the strangest thing about all this is that I accepted it quite well, and I'll tell you why. It's because I had too many symptoms that something was going to happen. I just think it was part of God's plan. I mean, it sounds kind of odd, but as queer, but I felt that it was part of God's plan, and I don't usually go out to the store and buy clothes for the girls spontaneously, and in this case, I did. The little store nearby had a children's shop was having a sale, and I thought, I've been never even going in there. They charge too much. So I thought, well, I'll go over there and see what they have, and see if I can get something for the younger one.
Eleanor, how old was your daughter when this
happened?
happened?
How old were these girls?
What?
How old were the girls?
8 and 10.
Wow.
8 and 10.
Yeah.
And you think your 10-year-old has held it against herself, that it's her fault her sister drowned? And I'm curious if anyone else in the family, Eleanor, although you were able to accept it, do you think anyone else in the family also blamed her, held it against her?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Well, did you say before the break that she caused her little sister to drown, or did you say she felt like she caused her sister to drown?
I think she felt like it because...
Do you think that she caused her to drown?
Well, there wasn't much option. Yes, in a way she did, because she was bossy, and she was always telling her what to do and not do, and she wasn't supposed to get off the beach in the first place. And
but she was 10.
What?
She was 10.
She was 10. That's right.
10-year-olds can't really, they have a hard time following directions. They can't see the consequence. And I suspect that all of her life she has lived with this and feeling that...
She probably has. I don't know. But I know that she won't go to church. She stopped going to church a long time ago.
But if I looked at this, I could make a case that it was your husband not listening to you that was the cause. Or I could say you not demanding to go to the beach and look over these girls were the cause. And there are a lot of things that could be identified as how this happened or why an 8-year-old drowned.
I'm sorry, I missed you. The phone was disconnected. I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
I was saying that you could make a case, you could make a case a 10-year-old caused her 8-year-old sister to drown, or you could make the case that you listening to your husband and not going down there, or you could make the case the husband not listening to you caused it.
That's right.
And yet my sense is that your daughter has all of her life had to live with the burden that she caused her to drown, and probably didn't have a path of healing, and now it's really disrupting everything. But it's probably disrupted everything for her throughout her life. We'll talk a little bit more right after this.
My husband was involved with pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict.
There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C. November 3rd through the 5th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and Mark, you have a final comment here.
Yeah,
for
I think,
Eleanor,
Eleanor, now that
you
you shared this kind of sheds a lot more light on the dynamic between you and your daughter. This thing happened 55 years ago, and as Steve is mentioning here, this is a tragedy. I don't think we're wanting to put blame when Steve's talking about this on any one person. It's a tragedy is just a series of unfortunate events that happen, and everybody hurts from it. But yeah, 55 years ago, we didn't have the resources that we did now, or that we do now. And I think your daughter's probably carried this for a long time. And there's a big barrier there in the relationship between you and her. And it's going to take a lot of bravery. But I do think, I think healing is going to come when she feels like she's released from this. And I think that's probably going to come from hearing that from you letting her know that she's not responsible for the death of her sister, because she may not be able to forgive herself until she feels like you forgive her.
And Eleanor, I just wish, sweetheart, I could pull you into my arms and let you be angry with me, cry with me, because I think you still have unshed tears for this horrific loss of your daughter. And I don't know if you can tell your live daughter that it's not her fault, because I think a part of you thinks it is her fault. And I'm gonna gently give you some feedback. There's an edge in your voice when you talk about your daughter, and she's been an imperfect daughter, and she still hurts you regularly, it sounds like. So you have reason for it. But, oh, sister, I think that is an ancient, decades-long hurt that you hold it against her, that you do think it's partially her fault that your other daughter died. And so before you address this with your daughter who's alive, I think you've got some counseling work to do to be able to at least spread the responsibility to all the people involved, to God even, who allowed this to happen, allowed your child to be taken from you at such a young age. Because until you do that work on yourself, I think when you speak with your adult daughter, there is blame and there's an edge in your voice to her. And I understand it. I don't blame you for having that. But you can do some work to alleviate that within you so that you and your daughter and your family can find some freedom.
I mean, there is an opportunity to free your 65-year-old daughter from something that she's lived with all her life. And that is simply to say, I have been thinking so deeply about this, and I have put this on you. And when I really started to think the other day, talking to some people about it, you know, I could have been at the beach preventing you from going in. Your father could have listened to me, and we could have gone to the beach earlier. I've never fully looked at all the different aspects here. The people could have responded faster. The lifeguard could have jumped in the water and gone out there instantly. And yet I put it on you, and I just want to ask your forgiveness and hope that you can. And it could be a great day of healing for her, and I think it could be a great day of healing for you too. And I'm just really sorry for what all of you had to go through.
And Eleanor, a conversation like that might be so intimidating and even terrifying to consider having, and you don't have to do it alone. We can help. We can partner with you with a good counselor who can prepare you to have that conversation, even have it perhaps in a family session, inviting your daughter in so that you're supported in facing such a tough conversation.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice. I hope that there's something there that could really help you there. And I just hope and pray that you might go through a healing process that's very different than what it would have been years ago. And that in the end, you have a different, freeing relationship with your 65-year-old daughter. Maybe she would respond to it. I don't know, but I sure hope so. I'll ask people to pray for you and pray for your daughter that there could be healing and restoration there. Larry's in the studio, and Larry, what do you have for us here today on New Life Live?
Steve, you know, we talk a lot about our workshops and the difference it makes in people's lives, but this radio program does that as well. And
I hope so.
Boy, I'm telling you, this is a pretty special testimony someone wrote. She said, all of you at New Life have seen me through, instructed me through, coached, encouraged, counseled, led, loved me through nightmarish experiences I would never have dreamt Christians were dealt with in this life. Even more than the daily doses of practical solutions delivered in gentle, loving, respectful grace from your radio program, the resources you create and provide have helped to not only save this life, but more than a saved life, I can see how much evidence is rippling out. Today, as the direct result of every one of you answering the call to take up the mission, I live a free woman. I'm in love for the very first time with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I just don't think it gets any better than that.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, Jesus is the reason we do everything we do here at New Life. And it takes roundabout ways for people to experience that, but she did. And she's in love with him, and it's going to be a different life for her. And like you say, it's not automatic character, but she is on that road. And it's thanks to what you guys here at this table are talking about day in and day out with our callers. So I just want to thank folks who support this. Because
Me too.
Yeah, this is your ministry, ladies and gentlemen. It's New Life, but it's your ministry because you donate. If we don't have donations, we don't do what we do. And you're doing it, it helps us, but it's a gentle reminder, if not an out-and-out plea sometimes, just to say thank you, and please continue to give. You can join Club New Life, you can make a one-time gift, you can donate stock. There's all kinds of ways you can give to New Life, and we just pray that you would consider doing that and do it often.
Well, the other thing that is so wonderful that I get to experience hearing stories. I just talked to a woman from Brazil, and because of the internet, you can hear us anywhere. And she talked about the impact that the radio program had on her life, what it did, how she got involved in some healing processes with other people, and now she is just trying to help anybody she can possibly help. And so you just never, ever know the impact that one radio program is going to have on one person anywhere in the world. And so thank you for helping us do this. 35 years we've been doing this, and we're still doing it and getting to hear of the impact that New Life has had on the lives of others. And we know where all that comes from. And that's just the grace of God using us. And we're so thankful that God does. I was talking to a couple of other believers, and I was saying this. Anybody thinking that, like, women of faith and 5 million women coming to that was a result of God choosing a man who understood women and had his act together, that's why I got to be part of that, would be, well, if you knew me, you'd know that isn't true. And a lot of people think, well, you got to be something special to do something special. God uses broken people to do things that they never dreamed that they could do when they just let God do through them what God wants to do. And I think about folks that God could use to do amazing things right there. And when I say amazing, it just might be one life that is different because you finally decided to get out of yourself and get into other folks, do something, serve, minister. And maybe you haven't because you haven't felt worthy. God's not looking for worthy people. He's looking for willing people to do whatever they can do to change the world. And when you do, the fulfillment is just so astronomically and exponentially amazing to being there feeling unworthy. So I just hope and pray if you're listening to this and you're thinking, God couldn't use me, or I'm not living up to some standard that I need to have for God to use me, that you might hear my voice. God wants to use you. Whatever is preventing you from being used by God, talk to somebody. Get involved with the group. Call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Let us get that out of the way, because your brokenness could be the thing that links you with another broken person. And when you start to help somebody else, that's the completion of the transformation process where you're comforting others with the comfort God gave you. We're still doing this, encouraging people to get beyond themselves, to not see themselves as limited. And we've been doing it 35 years, and we do it because you support us. Please continue, and if you never have, 1-800-NEW-LIFE is the number.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here, and a gift of any amount we send you, Dr. Henry Cloud's book, Trust. It is a good one. How to know when to trust somebody, when not, how to earn it back, all sorts of things. And, of course, when we started New Life, when we began the radio program, it was John, Henry, and me. We were the boys. I want to play you an old, maybe you're not familiar with how things were back then with John and Henry. Here's a classic phone call we have on file. Let's play that, Terry. Deborah, what's going on in your life today?
Oh, hi, Steve. Thank you so much.
Sure, you're our final caller. Yeah, what's going on?
That's awesome. This is the question. Is my fiancé of 6 months, is it an act of deception on his part that he has been intermittently contacting his ex-girlfriend, or is it just his ability to compartmentalize?
Let's get a
and
little...
which would be the good answer?
Well, I don't want the good answer. I would like to just give you... I want the real answer.
No. But I'm saying, I don't think either one of those would be good.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm. Right.
And apparently, if he's able to be in contact with his ex-girlfriend in any sort of funny way, that would have to be ability to compartmentalize, right?
Okay.
Because he's not bringing you into it.
No. In fact, I accidentally asked the question during a different kind of discussion we were having, and I just said, "Are you in contact with her, or she with you?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Does she know we're engaged?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Does she know I exist?" And he said, "No."
Okay.
Wow.
Now, what is your question for us?
Because we have some for you.
Yeah.
And it won't be move the wedding date closer.
Yeah. What's the question for us?
The exact question is he deceiving me? Has he been deceiving me?
Okay. He's passively deceptive.
Yeah.
He's passively deceptive.
Yeah. Now it is a good sign if there's a good sign in this. I mean, he did admit it to you when you asked him.
Yes.
But
that's not quite as bad as the one that would have lied further.
The one that lied further been worse, and the fact that, the problem is, as you know, is that if you had not asked, you would not know this, and so we see that's a bad thing. So was that your only question?
Yes, and what can I do from here?
Well, I would certainly see this as a big time to have a discussion, and say, do you have a wedding date?
Not an exact one. It was supposed to be in September, but I feel as if because I wasn't given this information early in the relationship, and I had asked if he was over her, and he said, initially within the first couple months, he said, mostly, and I backed off, right?
Mostly?
Yeah.
So, mostly, and then I backed off, and I revisited again about 4...
You backed off of asking her, or backed off the relationship?
I was less involved with calling, less involved with, calling him. I let him move forward to some degree.
Yeah. And how long have you guys been together?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And she is from 2.5 years ago?
She is from 2000. And he had remained in contact with her during even her subsequent marriage.
Okay, now.
Okay, and so is he saying,
And
but
now
it's,
she's
but it's no
divorced.
big deal, I want to go forward with you, I don't care about her? Or is he saying...
No, he is saying exactly that. It's no big deal. I don't know what the big deal is. She didn't ask, and I didn't say. You didn't ask, and I didn't say.
Okay, so has he said to you that if you ever see me contacting her, talking with her, having any kind of relationship with her, that you would be entitled to walk away and never come back? Has he said that to you? Has he given you that assurance?
Not in the least.
Okay, so why aren't you saying that to him? Okay, great, I believe you, but I want to know if you plan on having any further contact, and if you do, what do you think that says about us?
Oh, okay, I will definitely ask him that.
And I would also say, and I don't know if, I don't know if we're unengaged or not, but I'm not even talking about a wedding date.
Yeah.
Not even talking about a wedding date.
No way.
No.
Are you kidding?
Why would you do that?
Okay, well, I just want to get it from the horse's
No,
mouth.
I'm a little curious though. Why would that not be in your head? What?
Oh, it is. It is. I want to be, one of my questions to him was, how did I make it unsafe that you couldn't just mention this to me all along? I wanted to know what I was doing.
That's great. It's a good question. But at the same time, that doesn't negate that he wasn't, no matter how unsafe you would have made it. There's two of you here.
Right.
Did he answer that in any kind of helpful way?
I asked him twice in a long conversation at two different times because I want to know where I'm broken too. And he wasn't either aware that somehow I make him feel unsafe, that he can't be, totally disclosive and honest with me, or my concern is that there's a character issue here.
Well, that would be a concern. I just think it has to be at least a concern. And I think you want to just really get into this and talk about it. And do you have other questions about his straightforwardness or deceptiveness or anything?
I really don't, but I will say this. There's been a kind of a habit that he has recently told me about why it's so reasonable to not disclose this.
And the habit is?
The habit is his first wife from many, many years ago. He stayed in contact with her for like 10 years.
Okay, hold on. We're out of time. You know what to do.
Go to our book, Boundaries in Dating.
I'll send it to
there's
her.
a chapter in there, what you can live with and what you can't. And one of them is deception, and really study that and talk to him about this issue.
I'll get it out to you. And
you guys need some premarital counseling fast.
Yeah. Listen, don't ever do anything out of desperation. A desperate woman has gives more of her life to the man than to God. If you believe God loves you and is in your life, you don't have to do anything desperate.
I've got friends that put it off and say it's the best thing they ever did. They got married later when the issues were, but they made some people mad and the printers got bugged, but and the caterers. I'm telling you, they look back 10 years later and say, "So glad."
We have all these people calling in saying, "I just wish I had married sooner."
Hey, I will tell my daughters, if there's any doubt in your mind, when you are walking down the aisle, turn around. We can put this thing off.
And you know what? And we'll go on. We'll have the best party.
We'll have bologna sandwiches at the party you feel good about.
You bet. Absolutely.
And and since you guys have daughters, and you bring the shotgun to the wedding and everything, and it'll be great.
Stick a knife in his ribs and tell him if he has any doubt, don't you walk down that aisle, buddy.
I just want to do an arranged marriage with my daughters and your two sons, so I can just not have to worry about it.
Right. All right. Well, there's John and Henry. All right. Hey, I love the fact that people call and ask about dating and engagement because, you have the whole world. You're free. You can make good choices and not have to pay a huge, huge price of getting into a relationship that's unhealthy, watching it play out even worse than when you were dating, and then going through that whole either healing or the divorce process. So if you need help with dating, we want to help you. We've got resources for dating that help you not make crummy choices. Help us if you can, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need help, we want to help you. Thank you, Marc and Alice. God bless all of you. See you next time right here on New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.